Hey there everyone, this is Jeremy and the Music Andy here to talk about Tricot's newest release, Jodeki. This being the 6th studio album release from the band through Bakuritsu Records, their own independent label. Tricot is a 4-piece J-rock math rock band from Kyoto, Japan. Tricot is known for blending different genres into each one of their albums, using a lot of post-hardcore, funk, and indie rock as well. I like the approach that Tricot took with this album, half being with vocals, half being without vocals. The band has stated in an interview that fans have been asking for instrumental versions of their songs, so it's nice to see that Tricot is giving back to the fans. Though I feel it would be a great disservice to eliminate the vocals, whether you can understand them or not, since they are written in Japanese. The melodies and vocal structures that they add to the math rock backgrounds complement it very, very well. With that being said, let's dive right into this album. Our first track starts off very lush, gently bringing you into Jodeki. We get a nice, groovy, mathy guitar hook right in the beginning seconds. The sound has me reminiscing back to younger days, with Dance Gavin Dance feels all throughout this guitar. It's jerky and clean, matching perfectly to the scattered but loosely contained rhythm. I love the ending and how they bring everything that has been played throughout the song so far back together at once. However, this song feels a little safe for an album opener. It just feels like your typical math rock song. The second track is when I feel the album really begins. Post-hardcore, pop-punk, J-rock, math rock, they all find a footing within this song. A very busy song with each instrument being able to find a unique role and stick out from each other. Each moment that the lead guitar gets brought in, it kind of brings in a eccentric, quirky feeling to it, and it's perfectly matched by the bass and drums. I love this song, and I really wish it was the opening track on Jodeki. And then we got track 3, which is an absolute killer. Super heavy, deep groove begins on this, and then it starts to unwind itself. Once the vocals begin, it feels like the instruments are grasping for their breath, and so am I. The bass sounds like an old lawnmower on its last day, and I mean that in the best possible way. The guitar comes creeping in with sinister hooks, and then quick angular fills, only allowing you to breathe for a single second. Tricot then throws you right back into the madness in the beginning of this track. After this explosion of music, Tricot kind of starts to develop a dense, thicker atmosphere. Haunting vocals with heavily textured guitars of tremolo and delay begin to fill out this song. A quick change into a kind of cool jazzy approach, and then Tricot says, you know what, I'm going to throw you right back into the madness. Amazing song, incredible vocals, very unique instruments, and an incredible performance captured on tape. And just an incredible performance by each member on this. The feeling on the next song is an immediate left turn though. Heavy focus on the vocals with the instruments playing at a crawling speed compared to what they were playing previously. Very nice backing vocals on this, and despite it being slow, it still has that math rock approach to it. Playing at a slower speed, the drummer takes off on more complex fills and rhythm sections. The only thing I don't like about this track is the placement on the album. Right when Tricot was starting to tighten the grip and create a lot more intensity throughout each song, they loosened it right when I think that they didn't need to. So far, instead of the album going down in intensity, each song would just change its intensity drastically throughout itself. I like an album that flows more like a natural body of water rather than just getting water from the sink where you can turn it on and off whenever you want to. Again though, great song from Tricot. I just didn't like the placement of it. And just like that, we get another great song with the 5th track of this album. If you like your math rock with a lot of guitars, this is the track for you. All 3 guitars do a great job of circling around each other, letting each one showcase their talents. The drums create a nice, simple, but effective floor for the instruments to sprawl all over. Just like the first 3 songs on this album, this one has a great sense of tempo and style changes, almost at times becoming very comparable to J-rock band Toe in tone and fill sections. Beautiful song, one of the favorites for sure on this album. They did it. Tricot decided to bust out the synth bass on the 6th track of this album, and I'm all for it. Easily the catchiest vocal track on this album. Tricot radiates fun with bouncy basses, drum rolls, and wet funk guitar tones. To no one's surprise, the song increases in tempo again, adding a lot of urgency and panic to itself. The panic begins to boil over, and the drums unshackle themselves from the previous environment they found themselves in. There is nothing I love more than when a drummer gets to let loose and completely dunk the song into a frenzy. Have I mentioned how each member is incredible at playing their instruments yet? The compatibility between each member's instruments fit each other perfectly. I think this song is a perfect showcase for those feelings. I love this song. Track 7 asks, did you want to hear all the tones that we used in this album so far? Without you answering yes or no, Tricot does just that. The wet funk, clean math, heavy chugging, sharp, angular, glitch, delayed guitars are here, and so are the tempo changes. While not being the most memorable piece on its own, I feel it does a good job of reflecting upon itself and all the other songs that came before it. Track 8 is a quick shot of dance punk. Each member has a vocal moment in this, and I love the contrast of all 4 of their voices being swung around each other. At only 2 minutes and 31 seconds, we don't get a lot of the tempo and style switches like we did on other songs, but I still feel this is a very good song and a very quick shot. It doesn't give too much to the album, but it doesn't necessarily take anything away either. The 9th track shows an excellent job of how to carry momentum throughout a song. The switches from down-tempo drums to high-speed bass picking really create this atmosphere of soothing to violent, off-rhythm, drunken, staggered moments. The guitars do a very good job of emphasizing these feelings throughout the song and dance perfectly with the bass and drum. Whether it be disjointed scale climbs or quick flicked chords, both guitars do a great job of showing composure and talent. Gotta say, on this next track, I don't feel fair saying much on it. It's a slower song and it feels very moving and very passionate. However, I do not understand the language of the vocals. The instruments themselves are very sparse that eventually boil over to a guitar solo. However, the guitar solo is not that much of a payoff when there's other guitar moments on this album that I feel did a better job emphasizing emotion. Finishing off these last 2 songs, Tricot returns to the funk approach to their math rock. We also get a quick little greeting from a doggy on the last track on this. Both of these songs had moments, but nothing really stuck to me besides the dog in a synth solo. These songs aren't bad, they just left me wanting more. Before these songs, we had spectacular progression in each song through genre, tempo, style, tone. Ideas and sounds would fold over themselves, creating incredible listening experiences. I just wish these final 2 songs would have followed in these same footsteps. This album really had moments impressing the hell out of me. I feel like a lot of math rock can blend together and become unenjoyable when they choose complexity over enjoyment. This album, however, didn't have to sacrifice complexity for enjoyment at all. The only downside I felt on this album were the final 2 songs, and they weren't bad songs, they just didn't blow me away like the other ones, and the placement of a lot of songs on this album. If those last 2 songs had a lot of detail that I felt the other songs had, I feel like this would be a almost near perfect album. However, I'm going to have to give it 8 well dones out of 10. I think in the future I might change the grading scale. Doing whole numbers kind of makes things lump together. I've been given a lot of 8s. Might start bringing in the decimal system. What did you think of this album? What album would you like me to review? Leave a comment below and let me know. Subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I hope you have a wonderful day.